Hi everybody, hope you guys are having a great day. I just wanted to shoot this quick video and share with you guys a really cool story about Blessed Takayama. If you don't know what that is, he is a samurai who's going to be declared a saint. He was beatified in 2017 by Pope Francis, and I do want to just express to you guys just a little bit of his story, the beginnings of his story, which I think is really interesting. And in fact, next week I'm actually going to be sharing with some homeschool kids the life of Takayama a little bit, and I felt like I should make this video for you guys in case you're interested. So Blessed Takayama, he lived around the time kind of late 1500s, and the story begins with his father Dario. So his father Dario, he was basically he hated Christianity. He thought it was a worthless religion. Him and he was a very powerful man. So he was in charge of armies. I believe he was a daimyo. He had a lot of power, and one of the things that he didn't like about the Jesuit missionaries, especially during the time when they were evangelizing, is that they kept on bringing more people to the church, baptizing them, and as somebody in a high position, it was alarming to him, because once you have people believing different set of ideals other than what was practiced, they could potentially question his authority. And him and some other associates, other people that were in charge of territories, agreed. So what they did is they devised a plan, and this was Dario's plan, Takayama's father, to meet up with the local Jesuits. And what he said is like, okay, I want to send a letter asking the Jesuits to see if I could be baptized, right? And ask questions. And basically it was a trick. He wanted to invite the brother, ask him really tough questions that he thought he could never answer, and then once he's finished not being able to give sufficient answers to all of his questions, he was going to execute him on the spot in front of everybody, and that would set an example for Christianity. So he was really against it. And when the brother received the letter, the priest rather received the letter, against the advice of his associates, against the advice of his fellow brothers, he went anyway, because he believed that he had to go for a reason, right? Even if it was to be a martyr and be a witness to the faith. So he goes over to meet Dario, and Dario is also with his associates. I can't remember the names of them right now. They're kind of hard to pronounce, so we'll just call them his associates, other warlords. And Dario starts questioning the priest. And instead of, being disappointed with the priest's answers, Dario fell in love with Catholicism. He fell in love with the answers, and it gave him an insight and a beauty to the truth that he didn't even think was possible. And it really made him rethink his life. And in fact, after that, he got baptized. Right? So him and his other friends got baptized too, as well as many people that he knew, many people he was close to, including his own family. They all got baptized, all received the sacraments, and one of those people was Blessed Ukan. He got baptized as well. Now, for Dario making this decision to suddenly become a Catholic, it kind of sent a shock to other military leaders at the time, because they were like, whoa, this guy that we thought hated Christianity is now a Catholic, is now a Christian, right? And they didn't really like that. So one of his associates, somebody in another area, a territory, had a vendetta against Dario and his family, and he wanted to kill them. So much so that his name was Wado. Alexa, stop. I appreciate it. Sorry, guys. That he wanted to kill him, and he went so far as to killing his own uncle, who was defending Takayama. And basically, what happens is that Takayama calls for reinforcements, other fellow Christian samurai, to defend his castle, because the area that Takayama was in, Dario Takayama, Ukan's father, was very advantageous for the Japanese. It had lots of access to different ports, and the castle they had was a very good location. So Wada wanted to take this location for his own. And what ended up happening is Dario called reinforcements, asked for help, and they all got destroyed. So what ended up happening is that Dario was left with very few people in his ranks still. That also included his own son. So what what Dario did is that he pleaded with another warlord who was just basically a bystander at this point, kind of watching things emerge, and said, hey, I need advice. Give me some advice to take out Watto, because he's going to try to kill me and my family and take over the castle. And what he told him, and again, I'm not saying the names because I'm not as good as pronouncing them. Maybe in the future I'll pronounce them better. But basically what he told him is like, well, you got to kill him before he kills you. If you are successful in this, okay, I will give you my land, right? So he made a very big, offer to Dario. He said like, hey, if you're successful, if you can beat, even though you're outnumbered, as a sign of your courageousness, I will give you part of my land, which ended up backfiring later. But that's basically what he did. And so they devised a plan, and the plan was this, and this is a crazy plan. And I really wish some filmmaker who's watching, maybe you're watching it now, I really doubt it, but maybe, please make a movie about Blessed Takayama, or make a series about him, because there are so many cool things that you can do with this story, and there's never been any, like, I'm discovering this for the first time, and the stories of Blessed Takayama are tremendous, and I think it'd be really cool, especially for this generation that really is into, martial arts and things like that. I'm a martial artist myself. I teach martial arts for a living. I find this super awesome and badass, quite frankly. So what happened is, okay, so here's the plan. So there was 15 samurai in Takayama's castle. One of those was Blessed Ukon. So what they did is they lured Watto and his bodyguards into the castle. It's not really clear how he did it, but I guess he lured him in. Maybe thinking that there's no defenses and he can just take what he wants. So the plan was this. They all were hiding in different spots around the castle with a bunch of candles. They're all standing behind candles. And what they did is they took out the candles as soon as Watto walked in, and it was pitch black. This is at night, pitch black. And a battle ensued in pitch darkness. Now, the reason why they did this is because they felt like, okay, we have no chance of facing him head on. We got to be tricky and we got to be tactical and basically surprise him without even him seeing us. Unfortunately, this also involved some of Takayama's own armies, or own people rather, killing each other as a result, because they couldn't see who they were fighting. And lo and behold, Ukon, it's not really clear if he did the killing blow on Watto or not, but he survived, but he barely survived. And he had such grave battle wounds that it made him really rethink his life. Up until this point, Takayama, and this is according to him, he didn't really take his faith seriously, and he was 20 years old when this first battle of his happened. And he was only focused on being a samurai. He was only focused on being an exceptional martial artist and a warrior, that he was more excited about this potential battle just because he wanted to not necessarily defend the faith, but basically get a first taste of battle. And what ended up happening is that he got so badly injured that it almost cost him his life, that it made him rethink about all of the gifts that he received at his baptism. They all came back to him, and he started to study the faith more, and long story short, he became one of the most influential Japanese daimyo, which is a person who's in charge of a big amount of soldiers. He's responsible for building seminaries, churches, protecting fellow priests from other invaders. He would often host, this is also just a kind of fun thing that he did. He would host martial art tournaments, and when he would host the martial art tournaments, he would invite Catholics and non-Catholics alike, and then when the tournament was going on, or they called it the martial games, he would invite everyone to mass. And his whole idea was like, well, I don't need to try to convince people to become Catholic. All I need to do is show them the beauty of the mass. And that's one of the things he did. He invited people to mass and converted, they say he converted hundreds, some say, of course, sources say he converted thousands of people. And to go towards the end of his life, he did encounter a lot of difficulties and struggles, even at some point giving up his castle in order to save his family. But one of the things that I wanted to share with you about Takayama is that the lesson I got from his life, especially when he was young and trying to pursue things, I can directly relate to that, because I kind of had a reversion to my faith. I would say it's kind of recently, maybe about 3 years ago, where I basically got an injury from a tournament that really kind of made me rethink things, and I related this to Takayama because he also got injured pursuing things that he wanted to do, and it made me realize that this is not necessarily worth it. It's more and it channeled my focus and my attention towards being a Catholic Christian, and not just a Catholic Christian but also a martial artist at the same time. And the beauty of the church is that there's saints that come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. There's saints that were like Saint Joseph. There's saints like Saint Teresa of Avila. There's saints like Saint Maximilian Kolbe. There's a lot of obscure saints as well that are just. These are just regular people that had a profound calling and wanted to be close to God, and they did it through whatever avenue, whatever gift they had, right? And I'll leave you with this. If you're not really sure what heaven might look like, I can only imagine based on what I've read. A lot of people say it's a lot of colors, right? A lot of colors and a lot of beautiful things. And I heard that it's only that the visible world we see is only 1% of God's creation. If you look at all the beautiful flowers, all the variety of bugs, all the variety of people, wouldn't you think that God had a variety of saints as well? Right? And this is encouraging for us, because I think that sometimes we'll look at like some of the really great saints, like Saint Paul or Saint Peter, Saint Sebastian. We'll look at people who are super brave, Saint Ignatius of Loyola, Saint Benedict, and we'll think like, man, they do such great things, and I'm nowhere close to that. But the truth is that God calls everyone to be a saint, and he's going to call you in a very specific way and to give you a very specific role that he has for you. And it's up to us as Catholics to align our will to God and find out what that role is. So hope you guys are great for your day. I'll see y'all next time.